just guessing that you could probably have your superintendent recommended by the 15th May, if you go through the whole process, maybe even earlier. And that would allow time to get someone in by June the 1st, which you have to do by law, to get someone by June the 1st. Now, you may do that earlier, but that would at least give you a target date to shoot for. That's what I would do. So the 22nd, to get everything out to the newspapers and all that, finishing up around May the 15th, and getting the contract wrapped up.
Somewhere in the mid of that, I suppose, is when all the applications have been received and all of that, right?
Yeah. Once you get the applications in, you'll have a little bit tighter deadline there. Because then you have to go review them, schedule your interviews, that sort of thing. So that's pretty realistic timeline. I just did this for Wood County because we were at a different stage in the process here. And you see where they started on November the 30th, and they ended up, well, actually, their superintendent was appointed. They had some contract situations they got in, but this was done way before, it says here, it was done far quicker than this. And they did a thorough process. They had community involvement and everything. They got 3 weeks, they were involved 3 weeks in a superintendent board dialogue about the contract. But they got it worked out. Okay. So that basically concludes how we would like to do the process. Now, it's your turn. Any questions you have, plus I have some homework assignments for you too. Any questions you have about this? And be glad to answer any technical details or anything I've lived over or anything to be sure that we all are on the same page. There's many pages here. Okay.
Somewhere I've read in some of the correspondence we've received where the board had to budget the salary by May the 1st. Is that outdated?
That's no longer, no.
Okay.
Last year, the legislature under Senate House Bill 3208 changed the time for the salary to be set and the superintendent in place to June the 1st. They're both consistent now. They were inconsistent in the code before, but they're both consistent now. And that means you have to have the superintendent literally named. That's why that May 15 or earlier deadline is important. And then you would have the position filled by June the 1st. In fact, you probably need to work around the state board. You need to probably work around the state board dates for May, which I don't know what they are right now, for Dr. Payne to tell the board who's he's selected. Okay. But no, that was changed. That was a big mess, a horrible mess.
Well, I was going to say, we were going to have to establish the salary before you really knew.
Yeah, that was a horrible
If the person
mess.
would be agreeable to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And there's another thing too, that it used to be that you had to not only do that, but there was an attorney general, not an attorney general's opinion, but a interpretation that came out from the State Department in 2007 that you could not select a superintendent because you were an outgoing board. There was, in other words, the majority of the board would be elected in July. You had to wait until July. We overturned that decision when we got the law changed in 2009, because that would have meant that this board could not have selected the superintendent. You would have had to wait it after July 1st. And I don't think that's a good idea. Because the board is, well, I'm getting on soapbox now, but the board is a continuing corporation. And anyway, for whatever that's worth.
Howard, on disclosing the applicants, do you do that once all applications are in or as they're submitted?
No, you only do that the way we've done it, once they're all in and you decide who to interview. In other words, typically that's how it's done. But if the newspaper came to you and said, who all's applied for this position after the deadline came, then we would have to release the names in. And I don't like to say have to, we would release the names in. But typically that only occurs, in Wood County it occurred when they announced they wanted to know who was going to be interviewed. So that's when we released the names in Wood County. Ohio County they didn't really ask for the names.
You release the names of all applicants or only the ones to interview?
Only the ones to be interviewed. They didn't ask for all the others.
But if they asked?
If they asked, it would be released, yes, sir.
After you get them all?
Mm-hmm. You don't do them as they come in. You wait till we get them all. The best procedure really, I guess, would be to just take a look at that in a very upfront way. If you have 13 applicants and just simply release the names at some point in the process if you want to do so as a board. You can be compelled to, but I don't like to get to that point. It's only happened in one search we've done where we've been compelled to release the names. And we were going to anyway, but then they demanded it before we got to that point. The board was going to release all the names anyway, but the newspaper decided they wanted them to be released a little bit earlier than the board had thought they should be, so we took them up to Parkersburg. That's where that happened, so.
Howard, this process that you used in Mason County, is that when they hired K. Park when Parsons left?
Yes, that's correct.
So
He went through this process, or that's the process the board went through.
That's when Dr. Parsons went.
That's when he went to Preston County, you're correct. Yeah. Any other questions? Feel free to ask all the questions you want, because really we have to be pretty knowledgeable about this.
Did you
Have to be
say,
comfortable with it.
sorry,
Yes, sir.
May 15th would be the date by which the board would submit their recommendations to Dr. Payne? Or
That's a fluid date, but I
Yeah.
would say you need to have an end-out date, and I think that might be a good date to strive for, yes, sir.
Okay.
Is the position posted for 30 days in the
Uh,
newspapers or
you don't have to.
online or?
You can post it for the number of, for as long as you want. It doesn't have to be posted for any specific period under superintendent postings. It
What
doesn't.
normally do counties do?
Most counties advertise it for like 20 days, or 30 days, 20, 30 days. It's up to you on that, really, the board, that's the board. 30 days is not too much, 20 days is adequate, I think. We usually like to run the ad 4 times in the Gazette Mail, and in the, you run it in the Hunter paper 4 times, probably. And then, the local paper. That's what we recommend doing.